Hello, everyone. Welcome to office hours this month. This is marketing office hours. I'm excited to meet you all, those of you that are new, and you get to experience our community or experience me and experience the beautiful minds of the people we gather at Joyful Business Revolution. But mainly I'm excited to hear from your heart today. We have marketing office hours as a way to bring people in our community together to hear what's on your hearts and to come up with solutions. We also believe that we are stronger together. It is a hashtag that we use. You've probably seen it. And I don't have all the answers and neither do you, but when we come together, usually we can move the needle forward. And so we like to celebrate here diversity and collective brilliance in ideas and all other things. And we have a couple of core values for office hours that I just want to remind everyone about. If you do not agree with these, you'll have to leave. Hopefully, they will not be a surprise to you. But the number one thing is that presence is a gift. We are committed to being together for the next 60 minutes, not being distracted, checking emails, looking at Facebook or anything else that may be distracting us, because presence is your greatest gift. So please get rid of all your distractions. We also believe in telling the truth. I can't support you as a business growth and marketing strategist if you're only telling me half of what's going on. So please be committed to sharing your truth in this moment. And with that, we're here to transform problems into opportunities, not to stay stuck in the problem. All right, so we're going to put our heads together, kind of come in together and see what's happening. I also want to say this. Often our first reaction is not our final reaction at office hours. You may hear something that sparked something. You go off and journal on it. You think about it. You get pissed off because I even suggested such an audacious thing. It's going to be okay. Your first reaction is not your final reaction in most cases. And all are welcome here. You are seen, witnessed, and supported in this space. If you believe all of that, say yes in the chat if you agree. Those are our core values for office hours. I'm happy that you're here. Many of you came in today for office hours. Yes, you all filled out the form. I have all of your questions. It's great. We're going to get to them. But many of you also came in initially because you've been seeing how I'm going to, or attempting to, restructure the entire brand around a seasonal business model and not some arbitrary quarter one, quarter two corporate thing that actually never made a lot of sense to me to begin with. All right, so we're going to just kind of start there for a minute. I want everyone to think about what you're going to take away. I'm not saying you will transition your business to a seasonal business model, but there's been like a lot of people asking questions about this. All right. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about that as well. And then we're going to jump into the mastermind component where you can ask your question and we can see how we can support you today. All right. Sound good to everyone? All right. First of all, in the chat, I want you to write something that you're grateful for today. I am grateful for this new necklace that my friend gave me on Saturday. I am just like going to wear this. I have a mastermind dinner I'm hosting this week. I'm thinking this will be the name tags that I have people make at our content creation on location event in Miami in February. So that is my gratitude today. And let me just flip this over right quick. Hello, Deb. Welcome. If you can turn on your camera, we have a safe space here. We want to connect deeply. We'd love to see you. All right. Let's see. I can see Dana. Dana, can you see my circle here that I drew? Thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. So many of you are here. First and foremost, you're either questioning, fascinated, think it's the craziest idea ever of aligning your business with the seasons. All right. So one of the promises of the office hours this month is I kind of take you through why I'm thinking about this and the initial phases that we're going through here at Joyful Business Revolution. And why I think this is in this moment, a better way to think about our business. All right. This all stems from my hate of the word funnel. In fact, if my friend, who I didn't know, actually, owned it, he owns the website called the URL, fuck the funnels. Wanting to do like a training on that for a long time. All right. This inquiry started 2 years ago of like, why are we one? And I say we because I haven't done this extensively. I think in the nature of business, it's what's taught, and we really go against that grain here at Joyful Business Revolution and teaching you, instead of the field, what if we actually thought about, instead of the funnel, what if we actually thought about planting seeds in a field? So this was my very first thought 2 years ago. And the thought was, if you think about it, you spread seeds. It's workshops, it's blog posts, it's newsletters, it's networking, whatever it is. You're out, we're all out in the business of serving people and like spreading our words, spreading our seeds. Some of those seeds will take root and some of those seeds will not, right? And so for years, I've been thinking about this concept of, if we actually thought about our business more in terms of the natural way that things grow, forests, ecosystem, fields of corn, whatever that is, how would it transform our relationship to our clients, to their results, to our energy, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all small business owners, and our energy, if it crashes, Mandy knows this, she's been going through this, right? If our energy crashes, we are done until we figure out how to get that back, right? So this funnel model has never made sense to me, even as a marketer and a marketing coach and a business strategist who has to help you think about your quote unquote funnel. I still feel like I have to draw the parallel here to the field. Like, this is part of the work that I'm going to need to do. All right. The funnel concept was invented by a whole bunch of bro marketers who thought if you throw 100 people a month into the funnel, some of them will be smart enough and sift their way down through your content so that you have one or two purchases. And I don't know about you, but that's a lot of wasted energy on everyone's part. Okay. So this was the concept that I walked the Camino with. If I could take this $1 million a year business while it was moving, I'm not going to stop it, and reposition it in a way that would make sense to how I feel the natural world actually works and not some artificial construct here, what would that look like? Okay. So right now we're in the season of fall. Okay. Fall, I have defined fall for me moving forward and how I'm going to do things. It's the season of harvest. That makes sense, right? We've planted the seeds in the spring. They've grown. It's harvesting. How are we building deeper relationships and harvesting in our communities? How are we harvesting for our programs and sales? How are we having sales conversations? This is about harvest. And of course, if you think about this, it's also about high visibility, right? If you look outside anywhere in the, if you have 4 seasons, even if you don't, you'll see it. The trees who have been there the whole time are now saying, look at me, I am red, I am orange, I am producing fruit, right? It's this period of high visibility. And I also want to say this as somebody who's an introvert, somebody who struggles with this on and off relationship with social media. You've got to be visible in your own way to have a harvest. You cannot do it sitting behind a computer, behind a funnel, tweaking things, right? So I just want to ask you all a reflection question right now. Okay, no matter what your business is or where you're at, we are in fall 2024. What are you harvesting right now in your business? You can unmute yourselves. I'd love to hear you. Or you can put it in the chat, whatever works for you. What are you harvesting right now? And how are you, or do you think it needs to be bigger, bolder, like those trees changing colors? How are you in high visibility? Tracy, what do you got?
So from my side, hi everyone. I am, like, if I look at this week, all that I've been doing for my appointments is really spending time with power partners, and just kind of going into those relationships that I've never really gone into as much as I would have before, and having really good conversations with potential clients. So I consider that harvesting to some extent. I don't know if you would consider that harvesting,
Yep.
but diving into my power partners and more like shared learnings.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I love it. Dana, what do you say?
Right off the top, I'm aware that I'm not harvesting nearly enough.
Yep.
And it's the my business really, because it's a nonprofit devoted to housing for homeless people. It's like it's got the seasons built right in, because when we think of the needs of people, it really does vary, and it is seasonally driven. We should be prepping for getting accommodations for winter, and not enough is happening. I've been researching this and working on it for more than 4 years, and I've done so. It's been a solo thing now. And as I set up this nonprofit, now I'm faced with pulling together a board. I have the connections, and I realize that suddenly I've been hit with imposter syndrome. That who am I to call on them to do this? That and I really, when I look at the people that I know, I, I'm I have a fantastic, amazing. I have fantastic, amazing community. Some are just acquaintances, but they're respected acquaintances, and I'm not capitalizing, and I guess partially because I'm not feeling worthy of capitalizing on those relationships in a way that can support my endeavor. Because it's good, the big thing is, like, now we're down to the nuts and bolts. Is now we're raising money,
Right.
and that's why it resonated with me when you said, you have to be visible. And everybody that knows me would initially call me an extrovert, but I am far more introverted than
Yeah.
extrovert. I
Okay.
like to be in the party, but I don't want to be the center of attention.
Absolutely. I can relate to this. Okay. Now, reflection question for you, and then I'm going to go on to Dr. Mandy. So answer this on your paper tonight with a glass of coffee, whatever you drink in the evening.
Something.
Okay. How can you take the natural rhythm of fall? What is happening in nature that we're all very attuned with if we will listen, to your imposter syndrome, or to thinking about asking for money in a new way with a different energy? Because at the end of the day, this is about the energy of fall, the energy of harvest, the energy of getting prepped for the winter, the energy of being visible. And I'll tell you all, this will probably be your highest growth edge, is when you start thinking about how can I be more visible in an aligned way that feels good. That's where this business took off. And that's really what we do with our people in the terms of messaging and marketing. It's hard to be visible if you don't feel aligned with the message. It's hard to be visible if you haven't yet adopted the future identity of who you need to become to ask for the money for the nonprofit, to ask for the board positions for the nonprofit. All right, so Dana, that's a little bit of homework for you, okay?
Thank
All
you.
right. Dr. Mandy, what's coming up for you here?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit out of alignment with the seasons just because I'm just like, not that I've never heard this concept, but I haven't been practicing it.
Yeah.
But when I think about harvest, I think where I'm at currently is I'm looking at what I've been doing, the seeds I've planted, and which of those things I've planted, even if they're growing, do I want to continue growing?
Yes.
And do I want to, so how do I want to pivot and change things? And I think back like the last 5 years, my whole business has gone through lots of transformations where, I went from a physical brick and mortar chiropractic office, a pediatric chiropractor, to doing the online thing, specializing with midlife women. So I think it's really getting clear on and aligned on that. And then with the visibility piece, planning to get out there. I'm not doing it right now because I'm still kind of in some creation phase.
Yep.
And a healing phase for myself.
Yep.
Because I'm coming out of a major illness and burnout situation. But then getting out there visibility wise and re-educating people or, reconnecting with people on how to refer to me, because I'm finding that the referrals that are coming in right now are so not aligned. And I don't even want to hop on the discovery calls. And I'm like, then don't. If you don't want to do nutrition for kids anymore, don't do it. Like,
Yeah, and you know what, Mandy? This is such a good, so our business will give us signs. Your seeds will give you signs. And right now, your harvest is like, whoa, people are sending me things that are not aligned. That means we need to go back, as you know this, because you're in our program now, to the message, to the offers. People can only do what they know to do. And it's natural that we change directions. It's natural that we get a new target client. It's natural that we have a new offer, but we have to go back to our existing network and educate them on what's going on. Otherwise, they don't know. They're just sending the people. So good. I'm glad you have this awareness. Something that Mandy said that I think is really important, part of fall, the leaves are falling, right? They're letting go. People prune certain plants in the fall, right? What do you need to let go of this fall? And by the way, y'all, fall goes until December 20. Okay? Seriously. I literally sat in my recliner this weekend. I was like, am I really going to get a Christmas tree right now? That's what I would normally do. I'm like, I don't think it's aligned, right? I don't want to skip the fall. I don't want to skip the harvest. I don't want to continue to play into the capitalistic way that this country influences how I think about things. Which, by the way, Christmas in New York started October 24th. That's when I started seeing the shit. All right. And I was just like, no, I'm having no part of it. So what are you letting go of? Is it offers? Is it beliefs? Is it clients that aren't ideal? Is it messaging that's no longer working? And by the way, Amy and I help you all get this in alignment. Okay. Letting go is part of the natural process. Which seeds have you planted that you're like, ooh, I don't ever want to work with that type of person again? That is normal. That is real. All right. Are you in partnerships with people who do not honor your boundaries? Let it go. Are you in partnerships with power partners where it feels like you're doing more work and getting less return? Not balanced. Let it go. Okay. These are the opportunities we have in fall when we're in tune with a business that runs by the season. All right, Jennifer, last but not least on this particular one, what you got?
Yeah, so what I'm really excited about this because I kind of run my life with the doshas and Ayurveda, and I'm feeling my body right now just needing to really slow down and go a lot deeper. So what I'm harvesting is everything that has come post my book launch in January. So January I published my book. And now what I'm noticing I'm harvesting is like relationships, visibility, leads, a ton of success stories from like people. So this t-shirt here that I have, my intuition made me do it. This is the season of my new podcast. So I'm interviewing people, but people are also messaging me to be like, oh my God, I read your book and this prompt made me do X, Y, Z. And so I'm harvesting all of this right now. And what I've decided to do, which I was sharing in our meeting the other day, is create my own smaller pond. And so I created a Facebook group where I can just bring the people who are like really ready and excited about this work into that space so I can spend more intimate time with them. My constant issue is the converting into paid clients. So I feel like I'm just like bubbling with people and potential right now, but I can't get them across that line to be like, yes, I'm ready to invest in coaching or this experience.
Are you having calls with them?
I'm having some, but not a lot. So
okay. Everyone stop. Jennifer, I'm so glad you're here. I want everyone to listen to this. I'm going to try and do this in a quick, succinct way. All right. But here's what's happening. And this happens to everyone until we figure it out. We teach the 90-day marketing plan. All right. Seasonal. It will be called the seasonal marketing plan moving forward. All right. A is attraction. How are you attracting them? Jennifer, you've attracted them. Okay.
Mm.
B is building relationship. This is all part of marketing, y'all. This is that know, like, and trust factor that nobody ever tells you what it means. We've solved that problem here. All right. So you're building relationships. Step D is what we call, I can't remember the D stands for, but basically it's like when they sign up, they give you their dollars. It's the client. All right. What you're missing and what almost everyone misses, because nobody talks about it unless you're with us, it's how do you create an experience that moves them from a relationship to a client? All right. We call this experience, cultivating experiences. All right. And most people are missing this part in their marketing. All right. And this is why, okay, this is a great example of an experience. Some of you are new here, some of your clients, some of you are testing us out, whatever. This is an experience, right? It's a free experience. I've attracted you all somehow. We've been in relationship at some point. Here's the experience. Do you want to have a call with us to see how we can help you? Would be the next level of the experience. I can't say like, I'm going to sell you something because that's not what I'm here to do. But if you want an exploratory call with Amy, that would be the next step, right? So many people think putting the message out, getting them on the list, talking to them on social, building relationship will result in dollars. It will not. You've got to create the experience. Because people buy, I mean, we're not selling journals, y'all. None of us are selling pens, journals, this lovely necklace. We're selling ourselves and our expertise. There's got to be an experiential part to that. And Jennifer, this is what you're missing from what I hear right now. Okay. So Jennifer, your high visibility, your harvest, you've been highly visible. You need to get this plan in place to properly harvest. Because what's happening is you got all these seeds. We're waiting for the growth, and maybe there's some growth, but they're going to end up dying in the season of winter, whenever that season is in your business, in your podcast, because you don't have a way for people to experience you. And then you're going to be in the cycle again, which sounds like this is where you've been for a while. Like here they are, and they're not converting. Okay. So give that a think about what's the experience you can give people. All right. Your energy, your experience, maybe it's a coaching hour, right? I don't know. You have to think about what that is. Okay. The other thing, and then we're going to move into questions because I'm not going to do all the seasons today. We'd be here forever. I just want to highlight this. Winter, December 20 through March 20 or 19 is all about deep rest and deep visioning. And so this is where you get to like out yourself in the chat. If you are planning right now and wrapped up in the mentality that we need to be planning for 2025, you are missing the harvest. Okay. This is why in this brand, and we have I'll follow up with all of you, but we have a workshop on January 6th that's $97 called Nurturing Your Expansive Vision. And it's on Zoom. Okay. If you're a client of ours, it's included. If you're not a client, you can buy it or become a client and get it for free. All right. But we gather January 6th from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern time on Zoom to nurture that vision. We have rested, we have harvested, we have let go, we have pruned. Now we are ready to move into deep visioning. And if you've ever just felt like something's a little off, that in October, people are telling you to start planning for the next year, you're not wrong. It is not natural. We need to honor the entire season in its season, honor the energy of the season, and be ready to move from a deep rested place. Okay. All right. In the chat, what's your number one takeaway just from this part? And then we're going to open it up for Q&A. Number one takeaway you're going to take away and think about and apply to your business. Please put it in the chat. Yeah, Dr. Ann and Dana need to meet for sure. Dana, I also want you to know I've already done some work on your behalf. Yes, I have. I think you're new to me, but you're going to see how generous and how we do things around here. I have a client in our program. Her name's Kim. She helps people put together nonprofit boards. And I have already reached out to her and said, if Dana comes to this call, I am going to be giving you an introduction, and she is ready and teed up to talk to you and brainstorm with you. Okay? So that's how we roll here. All right. Okay, everyone. So here's what I want to say. As we jump into your questions, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. If you would like to chat with Amy about next steps for your business, it's a 20-minute call. There's a form. You fill it out. All right. The link's there. You can open it on your computer. Some of you are already on our calendar, which is great. Amy is my partner in joy. For those of you that haven't met Amy yet, she's the partner in joy here. All right. Let's dive in and talk about some of your specific questions. Carolyn, I'm going to start with you because I haven't heard from you yet today. So Carolyn, introduce yourself and quickly tell us, what would you like some clarity on today from our coaching hours, marketing coaching hours?
Thank you, Shannon. Hey, everybody. So I'm Carolyn Carpenter. I have Hollywood Gatekeepers. I teach people how to read and analyze and write screenplays. And so kind of the biggest takeaway right now is just that I'm already sort of doing, not knowing, I mean, I've heard of the seasonal thing, but hadn't really like applied it, but kind of naturally doing it already. But my question is, or kind of, I'm here today to think about scaling and how can I scale my business next year or this year and next year. But my question right now is, because I have writers, it's a lot of people start, I'm going to write my screenplay in the new year. They make that resolution. It's very common. So how do you reconcile if it's a time of rest with the energy of the new year and being, I'm going to take action? So that I have a lot of people wanting to take action. We do vision boards the first year. So that's in alignment with what you're talking about. The first, I do free weekly things, and then I have my paid groups. But this program of Write a Screenplay in 90 Days is a new program, and we are launching it like January 3rd. So we'll be pushing into it at the end of the year, kind of to start your year getting that done. So how do you reconcile that with the deep rest stuff?
Well, here's the thing. Don't make yourself wrong. And
wrong. It feels so
don't make yourself wrong. Okay. That's the first thing I want to say. I mean, it's taken me how many years in business to actually have the courage to like start running my business this way. All right. So baby steps along the way. In this case, since it's already in motion, and this is for everyone. Okay. Think about that particular initiative, the 90 days to writing the screenplay. Let's think about that initiative and the 4 seasons within it. Okay. What do I mean by that? Well, right now, I would imagine you're in the fall season of getting ready, high visibility, talking about it, thinking about it, telling people about it, trying not to be an imposter about it, or not be too conceited about it, right? Like all that energy that we have to hold in that high visibility fall phase. Okay. Then what would the winter phase look like of that for you?
For me or for my client? Wait, I'm not sure. I understand what you mean.
And that's a beautiful question. And what we eventually want is that you and your clients are all in the same season. All right. What would the winter phase for you look like of this project? And what would the winter phase for your clients look like in this project?
I don't know. The visioning part, I guess.
Yes, it's all about the vision and deep breath. So it would be maybe getting the enrollments to come in, like let's say by December 20th, and then saying, everyone, you're going to go rest, and here's some visioning questions. So when we start in January, you're ready to go. Okay.
I'm already doing that. So
good.
Like a lot of things you're saying, I'm kind of already doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So then into spring, think about what would the spring of the project be. Probably that's the writing and the drafting, the planting seeds. And then what would the summer, which is, I'm calling it high visibility, high energy. It's that growth. How can we help them through that? All right, in those 90 days. So, right, everyone, this is the nuanced thinking that goes on here behind my brain is like, yes, we can look at the seasons of a year, but we can also look at the seasons of a project or the seasons of an offer or this, because what happens is if we don't ever stop to reflect on where we got to, the gratitude, the harvest, the rest, we're constantly in the cycle of creating, marketing, promoting, fulfilling, creating, which is the funnel method, which is why many of us get driven into the ground.
So there's already a season of in the industry, in the film industry, there is this, everything just like shuts down from October to December pretty much. And there is there is a contest season that starts in the spring, which was another reason why so they could finish their screenplay and then get into the contest season. So there are like seasons within the industry that aren't quite, I mean, I can probably make them fit to a line, but right now I just have to figure that out.
Yeah. And part of what you get to do, Carolyn, is you also get to be a thought leader and stand in your brilliance and say what is for you, right? As I was hiking the Camino, the biggest thing that struck me, because I used to be a teacher for like 15, 20 years, I was like, holy shit, why are we putting these new seeds of children and these new seeds of growth in the fall? This should happen in the spring. Schools should start in the spring. Like, to me, that makes sense. Planting seeds, new growth, new opportunities, getting new jobs should probably happen in the spring, right? Letting things go. Why are we sending kids home in the highest energy of deep growth, deep energy in the summer? When what they really need to do is rest in the winter, right? It was just like a total like awareness and aha for me. And yeah, it's a little like revolutionary. That's why I have the business name, and a little radical, but I'm willing to be the person to do it and talk about it. Okay. So, Anne, did you want to say something?
No, I was just thinking when you were saying all that, and I think this goes back to Carolyn's question too, and how I'm looking at it a little bit is just really how you did identifying what each season means for you, right? So your fall might look different from my fall, right? Because your summer might be booming, where me in the summer, I'm on chill mode. I don't want to be booming. I'm on vacation. So I think it's just really identifying what each season might mean for you instead of getting so focused. And I don't know, this is just me thinking out loud of the actual seasons. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm in the fall right now. What should I be doing? Okay, no, it may be fall by the calendar, but I might be in spring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? With my actions. So that might be totally off, but that's how I'm seeing it.
No, and I think this is like such a rich discussion, which I'm glad we're bringing to the forefront in this community, because when we have to launch whatever, right? I don't do launches anymore, but when I have something new, I have to launch. So now I'm thinking of how does the launch incorporate all the seasons so we're not burning out at the end of a launch, right? So it's a new way to kind of think about things. But the question that I have for you, Carolyn, because I'm looking at your form, and this is just, I want to hear your thoughts, like what's in your heart. You said, what's the one thing keeping you up at night? And you said scaling. Can you tell me, what does scaling mean to you? And I want everyone to listen, because this is an interesting word that's been bastardized. So I want to hear, what does it mean to you, Carolyn, scaling?
It means, because I'm expanding my programs, adding a writing. I used to only do reading and analyzing. I'm adding a writing component. So there's many facets to it. So it's about bringing the right people together in the industry. Readers and writers are very separate, and it's backwards. That's kind of the mountain I'm standing on that's super controversial, because I want them to know each other. And so creating this community that is full of people that are interacting as opposed to being anonymous. Typically someone analyzes a screenplay and you don't know who that is. And I want to break that down so that you know it's an actual human nowadays too. and really like putting the human connection in there so that I'm getting more people from both sides coming together, which, obviously builds my business as well, creates more revenue, all of the tactical things that go with that. But it's more about creating a movement towards that and allowing the people to come together to do that. And it's been, as I've been visible this year and going and speaking at things and talking to clients, kind of doing one-on-one sessions in person, or not one-on-one, group sessions in person, really seeing that it's like there's a lot of energy around it. So it's like definitely the right path, but it's so new and it so goes against the grain that it's about, so I have a lot of things to work through both personally and professionally as well.
Everyone give Carolyn a hand. She's a thought leader doing it her own way. And this is the messy middle of the deep work we do, right? Carolyn, I'm just thinking if I was working with you on your marketing or content strategy, we'd be tying in some of those stories of the things that you're hearing, why you have this desire to not keep this two separate readers, writers, how it can change the industry and the final products. Like there's so much richness there. That I think people are ready to hear. The right people, not all people, but people who are thinking about things differently like you. So good job. And may I just please, this is from my heart to yours, in your sense of the word scaling, could you switch it to expansion?
Sure. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because that's really what you're doing. You're expanding people's minds of what's possible and the communities and looking at bringing them together, and then you can expand fuller. To me, that's the energy of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Tracy, you're up. Tracy, if you don't remember what you said, I have your question right here.
Please repeat the question.
All right. What's keeping you up at night? Appointment setting and sales leads.
Yes, that's 1000%.
Okay. What specifically can we help you with today? What's a
I
specific?
don't know. I mean, I was just, I've really, doubling down on my connections. And, I was at a conference where everyone's saying, you don't have to keep hustling. You've actually got so much talent around you. And going into those current contacts is probably where you will find a lot of your business leads, so to speak. So I've kind of been thinking about that in a bit of a new way. Because it is true, I'm part of the EO community, and you don't necessarily have to be, in your words, hustling the whole time, when you can actually just tap into your current network effectively and saying no more often to the people that aren't gonna, is it going to change? Is this going to make a difference in my life? Yes or no? And don't entertain the things that are wasted time. If it's going to further your cause. So I don't really, if I have a question, I just thought, let me come and check out what this is all about and see, it was, so I don't really know.
Beautiful. Well, let me ask you a couple of follow-up questions based on our last conversation. Did you successfully get a new updated ideal client together?
Yes, I have got that all done, and
Okay.
it is right in front of me.
Okay. Beautiful.
And now really going down into the exact messaging around those people. And then there's the marketing messaging versus the sales messaging. And it's like,
okay, there is not a difference between those two. So that, let's just call it messaging.
Yeah.
When your marketing message lands, it does the sales for you. Okay, so that's a whole thing you don't have to worry about. Let's just call it messaging. Okay. My next question for you, based on previous conversations we've had, do you have your offers that match the new refined ideal client?
probably 70% of the way there.
Okay, everyone listen to me. All right. It is useless to do messaging in your business if you don't have the offer created. All right. And this is what part of what I bring in from the backward design with all the curriculum, right? Award-winning curriculum design is kind of my background. But we start with a great curriculum with what's the project we want the kids to complete. Okay, and then we do backwards design all the way back to who are these kids? That's your ideal client. What do they already have that's going to help them be successful? These are what we call your bold qualifiers. They're must-haves in place, right? We can't just take everyone, so it won't be successful for anyone. All right. What do they want? What's their desires? What's the things that they're really wanting to accomplish? We got to talk to them about what they want and then deliver what they need, right? Two different things in messaging, but very important. What do they want versus what do they need? Okay. All of this can only effectively be done if you have an offer, because otherwise you're just messaging to whatever. Does everyone understand that? Thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Okay. So Tracy, I would say your next step is to really dial in at least one solid offer for that ideal client, because then we can message the offer with the ideal client, and that's where the magic happens. Okay, so
If I offer to do like an archetype workshop, do you think it's sufficient? Well, helping people to ascertain, understand their brand archetype.
I think for your people, because I know the target market that you're doing, it's not a workshop, it's an intensive. Yeah. Right? It's a 2 or 3 or 4 hour, however long it takes, that you're sitting down with these people and getting them, because I know when you nail that, they're going to buy the 60, 70, 80, $100,000 package on the other side. Yeah. So we would call this your front door offer. Right?
Yeah.
We need to message that, Tracy. That is the one we need to message. Because here's what I want you all to know. Once they're in, as long as you do a good job. Ann James is a perfect example of this. She calls herself the OG around here, right? She came in years ago on a front end offer, and she has since come back every time she needs something or wants something or a new perspective, right? I didn't have to do a million offers to put in front of Ann. I had to put the right offer in front of Ann at the right moment of where she was. And now Ann is here. When your offers are aligned, your message is aligned, your target client is aligned to the offer, we can align the message, and it makes the marketing and sales seamless from each other. Okay. Does that help, Tracy?
Thank you, ma'am. It does indeed.
All right. So what's your homework?
I need to put that into a short and punchy, just write it down and put a money amount to it and dollar amount to it, and not overcomplicate the process.
I love it. I'm glad you're here, because what I want to tell you is once you have your offer, I've rolled out a new done for you that's in beta. I have 3 spots left. I can help you with all the marketing strategy from the offer and the ideal client to what they need to hear to get them to buy. Okay. And right now it's $1,500. It will not be that for long because they're selling like hotcakes. So chop, chop, and then email me and let's do it. We'll get the content ready. All right. Ooh, Dana. Everyone give Dana and Tracy both some snaps and claps. This is good. Dana, your ideal client is not the homeless person. No, it's the donors. What a good awareness. I'm so glad you came here today to get that. That's worth $1 million right there. Okay. All right. Who's next? Who is next? Such a huge insight. Sandra, what did you say? Hold on. I'm going to your form. Oh, here you are. Where to put my energy next? The most lucrative thing or the low-hanging fruit? All right. Give us a little context here quickly.
So the little context is that let me think of the short version. I miss working on bigger, complicated projects. Like I used to do a lot more corporate consulting and like CRM automations, and they were this like huge fancy databases. And I burnt out, pivoted, have been doing a lot of email marketing in the last year in particular. And I love those clients and I love the work. And also I'm getting twitchy. those bigger projects are going to be far more lucrative. I think it will create a lot more ease, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also, the email is low-hanging fruit. Like, I know how to sell that. I know how to reach out to people, and it's
All right,
working,
stop.
right?
Wait, everyone, listen. Think of our field.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the low-hanging fruit on the trees.
Mm.
What happens to the low-hanging fruit on a field on the trees? Sandra, what happens?
Yeah, I mean, several answers pop into my head. A, it doesn't last. It drops off first. It rots. Like, nothing good.
Oh my God, such an awareness here.
This
Because
is good, Shannon.
why are we conditioned in business to build for the low-hanging fruit? It is not sustainable. It is not deep roots and future growth. That low-hanging fruit doesn't even get to drop their seeds and replant. Okay, so you need a mindset shift, my love. Okay, so good. So glad you're here. All right. Not what's the most lucrative, wrong question. What's the lowest hanging, wrong energy. What would bring you joy?
Mm. Okay.
What's your
I don't
answer?
know the answer to that off the top of my head.
You do?
I don't feel like
You
I
do.
do.
I'm going to push you.
All right.
Take a deep breath. Go to your heart space. Outside of money, outside of whatever the hell we've all been taught about funnels and all this shit. What would bring you joy to work with clients? In which way?
The thing that comes up is actually more like mindset coaching. That's what comes out. The system stuff I'm good at and I can do in my sleep, but it's not the game changer.
You know what? This makes a lot of sense with the content I've seen from you, because you write content like I write, that very nuanced, this is what's going on. We can only write like that if we understand the mindsets of people and what they're struggling with, right? That's a gift, Sandra.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm saying that because yes, you've been able to apply the mindset stuff to the email, but what if your season this fall, my love, is actually dropping the leaves, letting the fruit drop, and re-envisioning what would the business look like if I did deep mindset stuff with X. I don't know who the X is, but we can figure out the X. How does that feel?
So much more easeful. There's like the mind chatter just goes away, there's no story.
Yeah.
It's like I am my own client and I know it.
Yeah. You are your own client. We're all our own clients, y'all. Rule number 1, serving people deeply. Don't forget you are your own client at the end of the day, right? Okay, so Sandra, what's your homework for yourself?
Ooh. Well, I have some emails I want to write so I can talk about this to the people who are already on my list. And I have a summit I'm in that goes live this week, and I want to position my role there. And we talked a lot about mindset in that interview because it just comes out when I talk about my work. It's hard to avoid it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just lean into this different version of the messaging.
Okay,
Really the
good.
homework.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
dropping leaves, dropping fruit, letting that stuff go, and preparing the vision for the future. You are right on time. Right on time. Beautiful. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Come on, y'all. We're doing laser style today. Anyone else? Or maybe you just have another question that came up as you're sitting here. Okay, Jennifer, what you got?
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question about the experiences because I think that's really my homework. And I think now in the Facebook group, that'll be a great place to do that more often. Um, so these experiences, are they always free? Are they like pay? What do you usually do them free?
What a question. That's the wrong question.
I know. That's where I get stuck in my head because I'm like, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have you do what Sandra just did. Everyone's going to, oh, by the way, everyone give Sandra some jazz hands. She did great work in marketing office hours. All right. Jennifer, you're going to tap into your heart.
Mm-hmm.
For your most ideal client, paired with the offer you want to sell. That is the key, y'all. This is not spaghetti marketing around here. Okay. What is the experience that they need in order to say yes to working with you in that offer?
I feel like they need time one-on-one with me.
Okay, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as soon as they do have that, they feel extremely safe and they open up really fast, and we can, like, even just in a connection call, like massive insights can happen. So,
All right. So it's a call.
it's a
You
call.
show up in service and you serve your people deeply. 30 minutes is probably all it needs.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the 30 minutes, my love, high visibility, boldness, what are you going to ask at the end of 30 minutes?
What am I gonna ask them?
Yep.
Um, I would ask, what is your next step from here, and how can I support you in taking that next step?
Rephrase that a little bolder.
What is your next step from here? I would love to support you in taking that next step.
That's not a question.
Oh, it has to be a question.
If you want a conversion, it needs to be a question. Because you need to get their permission to move forward.
Right. I think I'm totally resisting the thing that you want me to say.
Yes, you are. Everyone give her some jazz hands. She's resisting.
Yeah, I guess it's like, what is your next step? Or would you like me to help you in taking your next step?
Okay. Would you like my support
Do you like my support?
to achieve your next step, whatever that is that you all determine? Now, it's a yes or no. Or some people, and I don't have any judgment around it, people are people. Yes, I would. What's it cost? That's going to be a yes. Yes, I would. How do I find out more? You set up a phone call for both of those and you talk through the offer. Okay. No, I can't afford it. To which you say, I haven't even told you how much it costs yet. Would you
Right.
like to have a phone call to talk about how I can support you?
Yeah.
The only time you don't move forward and have a next call is if they're assholes, because you don't want them anyway.
Right.
All right, let's be real. Not your energy match. All right, which is why we need to have experiences. Because y'all, someone came to an experience and said, sent me a private message while I was teaching, I will never hire you because you said the F word. And to which I responded back while teaching, thank you. I'm glad that you have this awareness. You can leave the workshop now. Right? Boundaries, boldness, knowing what you stand for, knowing who your best clients are, not out of selfishness, but because we can't serve people that have limiting beliefs for whatever reason, or have, people don't like that my spouse is transgender and they don't want to give me the money and support me and my family. Not a good fit for me. Right? So Jennifer, the only time you would say no to them, not invite them to a next step, is if they don't jive with the energy. Or maybe you got them all the solutions in 30 minutes and they don't need it, because we're also about ethical marketing here and not just selling people the next thing, but like really making sure it's what they need. Okay, what's your homework, Jennifer?
To book calls and say that sentence. Would you like my support to achieve your goals?
That's it. Jennifer, the
Yeah.
only thing standing between where you want your bank account to be is that question.
I know. I'm like literally feeling nauseous right now.
I know, I can see it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. This is your edge of growth. It's asking for the client. And I'm going to end with a story for you all so you can hear this in practice. All right. Carolyn, I sent you a message. I want to make sure you saw it. Okay. A week and 2 weeks ago, someone showed up in my LinkedIn Messenger. And she said, Shannon, I'm newer at marketing. I have a marketing business. I've been in business about a year. I talked to Becca, so-and-so, and she said for me to connect with you because you are inspiring. And that was very nice. So I responded very humanly and said, thank you. I'm looking forward to getting to know your work, how you work, who you work with. The old Shannon would have left it there. The new Shannon in fall, standing in my vivid, bold colors, said, tell me where you want to be 3 years from now. To which I got some long rambling answer that I could not understand, which was fine. And I said, that seems like a good place, except I can't follow what you're saying. Would you like to talk to Amy about how we can help you get this clear? Never been to a workshop? Didn't know who I was? She signed into our Joy Fueled program within 7 days of that message. It required me to be bold, like this. Ask the question that needs to ask, because I'm here to serve people. And none of you, I can't serve you if you're waffling around. You got unclear programs and offers and ideal clients, and I can spot that shit from a mile away. My job is to serve you deeply. And that's the energy I want all of you to take. And so, Jennifer, everyone in your group that's commenting, they're probably waiting for you to invite them to a 30-minute call. Okay? All right. In the chat, 1 to 10. 1, this was lame. 10, I'm glad I came. I do take extra credit.
Can I just ask you a quick thing, Shanna, before you go?
Yeah.
The spring is obviously blooming. Just we went into fall and winter.
Yep.
Summer is growth.
Spring, I've determined as planting and new beginnings. And summer is growing and energetic expansion. And y'all, I put out a newsletter this morning, check your inbox, 8 a.m. And a couple last week talking about this, you know, if you want to go a little deeper. I mean, obviously I could do a whole week on getting your business aligned to seasons, but we're going to take it chunk by chunk, right? We're all just starting where we are. I'm planting some seeds, asking you to think about it. And will you all please write this down before we go? If you want to join our workshop January 6th, it's Nurture Your Expansive Vision. Okay. It's a visioning and planning for 2025. It's going to be on January 6th. I was hoping I could give you the link today, but my team is still connecting the emails and stuff to the, to the registration. But mark your calendars. Go ahead and hold the space. We'd love to see you there. We're going to be really rooting into your vision, your mission, and your thought leadership, and how you can pair all of those things to change the world, change your industry, change how you work with clients. All right. So we're excited about it. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you all soon. Reach out if you need anything. Adios.